All right. So if you've made it to this video, this is for those of you who are enrolled in Stat 300 and Stat 10. So Stat 10 is a 2-unit support course. The parent course, which is Stat 300, is worth 4 units. That's the one that actually transfers. So that's the one that counts toward um, your units for transfer, whatever you plan on using that for. Um, Stat 10, those 2 units, they don't transfer, unfortunately, but the benefit of Stat 10 is that it has been purposefully designed to help support you with some of the skills that you may need that you haven't practiced in a while, that you may be feeling shaky about. That is to say, stats is not math, right? We are working on different tasks, different forms of thinking, but it does involve math. So you're going to have to be comfortable working with decimals, fractions, percentages, doing basic calculations, being comfortable with using the technology that we're going to be working with. So there's going to be some dedicated um, time and effort toward introducing and practicing working with the technology. So that's the graphing calculator and GeoGebra. And lastly, there are some things, some tidbits from math and from um, your other courses that we generally don't get to in time for you to see them before you take a stats course. These include things like summation notation or what we might call sigma notation. So you'll see some funky notation that you may not have seen before. And we're going to delve into that and see how it's actually not that complicated. Things like the factorial operation, which is generally not something that you see until you get to like calculus, but that's fine, because that's what stat 10's for. So beyond that, we're also going to be working on some soft skills, like making sure that you know how to best study, and be as efficient as possible getting through this course. Um, so we're going to make the most of it. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Stat 10 being pass, no pass means that you just have to earn at least a 70%. And for the most part, our tasks are going to be things like practice assignments, maybe a few surveys here and there, and a final reflection. That final reflection is just a way for you to um, think about what you've learned, how much you've learned, what you've gotten out of this course, but more on that later. That's much later. For now, Stat 10 is embedded into the Canvas, so there's nothing else that you need to do. You don't need to purchase anything else. You don't need to go search for anything else. You just have to pay attention to what's on Canvas. And as you saw in um, the details for what we're going to be doing each week, everything is delineated. This is stuff for Stat 300, and this is stuff for Stat 10. So that's it. All right. Um, so with that, you are ready to get started. Feel free to go ahead and start working on the assignments, explore, poke through the book, get familiarized with your TI calculator if you have one. And I look forward to working with you. Let's have a great semester.